once asked the old man what would happen if the orcs made it through the rifts into our world. He got all gloomy-faced and said, "Step out into their shattered, dead world beyond the fortress gates, and you will know." So, yeah. We could have just said it'd be bad.
Hello viewers, this is Clockworks and welcome to another Orcs Must Die. This is map 8, also known as Lunch Break. This will be the 5-skull guide showing you how to complete it the first time you unlock the map. Just showing you how to use it with the basic traps that you get the first time playing it. Now you do unlock the Warblades trap for this level, but I won't be using it because I don't really like it, to be perfectly honest. It's way too expensive and it doesn't... I mean, it's only useful for against the bigger enemies in my opinion, but you can just use your crossbow and gain other abilities to take care of those guys. Now the first thing you want to do is block off this path, or you can block either path off, but I would suggest the one on the, well, where I put it, because you want to be killing the orcs as soon as they come up these steps on the right as well. You don't want them to travel even further, because that will take longer to complete it. If you notice the placement of the arrow walls, that's important as well. Most people think the arrows actually only go as far as the where the orange trigger zone is. No, the orange zone when you place down the arrow traps is just their triggering zone. The arrows themselves will actually travel an infinite distance, so they'll go all the way to the end of that corridor pretty much. All the way up to the portal there. So it's perfect placement for them. Now normally I wouldn't do this, but I just felt like going into melee for a little bit, so... Now, I'm sorry about this video, but there is a bit of audio lag and video lag. That must have been a recording problem, since it's not something I could fix during the editing process, so... Now for the third wave, they'll come from the bottom, so you just want to go ahead and get down there and start taking them to pieces. And there's a few ways you could do this map. Personally, I'm more of a barricade and tar trap kind of guy, but you could just spam arrow wall traps if you wanted, and spike traps, etc, etc. Just make sure you have the barricade to block off that one path on the left of where I am, and you should be good. Whenever there's multiple paths, you always want to try and block off one of them, force the orcs to come down one way. Now if you notice what I did there, I placed the barricades in a diagonal line. You don't need to worry about them going through the tiny little corner bit where the barricades connect, because they can't get through there. Neither can the kobolds, so you don't need to place them directly next to each other. You can place them diagonally and still stop them from getting past. Now you want to get this up as soon as possible before the later waves start coming at you, because it will be very difficult to handle the later waves enemies if you don't have that barricade tar trap thing set up. Oh, and make sure you go ahead and use all the chandeliers in the level as well. I mean, why the hell not? It doesn't cost you anything to use them, so... Well, most people don't know this about the wind belt, but if you use the alternate fire, you can pick up enemies without it costing any mana, and then you can just throw them or drop them if you press right click again, or if you press the alternate fire button again. It's quite an effective thing to do, because you can actually just pick up hunters and then drop them into like acid bits and they can't do a thing to hurt you. Or you could pick up a hunter and hold him in front of your archers and just let them kill him slowly. It's actually quite funny. Unfortunately you can't stop ogres with it, but that would be a bit overpowered if you could. Now you always want to take care of the top area first, but as you can see I'm taking a look over the right sometimes just to check for when the kobolds show up. Because you don't want those little buggers getting past you while you're not paying attention. Now that is a long enough path. You could make it longer if you want, but that's certainly long enough for me. I'm just going to place some archers here. Those will stop any kobolds that try to sneak past. Personally, that's pretty much all you need to complete this map. What I've just built there is enough to win this map. The rest is up to you. Personally, I'm just going to place a bunch of archers now. But you guys, you could just place a bunch of arrow walls if you wanted, or spike traps if you're using those. It's all personal preference. Boom barrel time.
Multi-kill.
Oh, I love that thing. Try not to place the archers in front of each other because they can't shoot through each other, so always make sure they have a line of sight to, you know, so they're not blocking each other. Because placing them in front of each other is quite the waste of money. Okay, now we have kobolds coming, so pay attention to them. You don't want any to slip by. Keep an eye on the radar. You need to know exactly when they get to the top of the right stairs here. Just keep the ogres stunned with your crossbow alternate fire and you should be good. A little tip I like to do is if you use the alternate fire for the crossbow once on the ogre, then run up to him and use the blade staff, you can do massive amounts of damage because the blade staff is a lot more powerful than headshotting the ogre. Just make sure you hit him a few times and then back off, because once he gets unstunned he will hit you and do quite a bit of damage, so that's not something you want to happen. And normally I wouldn't go up to the portal and melee like that, but I knew there was a health potion right there, so I could kill the first wave and then just walk back and heal back to full, so. And this is the last wave, so it'll be normal speed, as I'm sure you've noticed. Let's get more archers down just for the sake of it. The orcs seem to have a bit of an AI pathing problem when you do this, because they go to the left and that path is blocked off, so even though they know it's there, they'll keep running back and forwards, which is a bit strange. I'm pretty sure they shouldn't be doing that. And that is the end of the level. Thank you for watching, viewers. This is Clockworks. This was the 5 skull guide showing you how to complete it the very first time you unlock the level. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time.